Alright, we are back to finish this off. Alright, we are back to finish this off. The next morning. I'm sorry to address you like this so early in the morning, but I have some bad news. That's how Miss Mayamori starts the day. Us employees of the Seaside Cafe are all grouped together in the break room. Mayuki and Ku included, of course. It's pretty early and the cafe has yet to open for business. As such, none of the employees have gotten changed into their work clothes. We're still attired in our casual fare, Ku in her off-the-shoulder blouse, Miyuki in her black turtleneck sweater. Miss Miyamori, meanwhile, is wearing the same clothes she always does, but she's frowning. I've never seen her make an expression like this before, in the 2 months that I have been working at the Seaside Cafe. Miss Miyamori is generally speaking a cheerful and bubbly woman. She's quick to tell jokes, and she's wreathed with near perpetual laughter. What could have happened to make her look so door? It's more like a little concerning. It's more like a little concerning. I'm starting to get worried. Is this what Ku meant when she said she could foresee disaster on the horizon? The other employees look concerned about this turn of events, but Ku is unperturbed, as always, her single visual eye staring, unblinking, into the distance. It's almost like she knows something. Did the spirits inform her of the morning's events? It's not like I believe in such silly, unscientific things. But it would explain why she's looked so unmoved when Miss Mayority says, I will be honest with you, the cafe has not been doing as well recently as I would like. We've been losing patrons steadily for the last few months, but I told myself this was only temporary. I thought if I invested more effort into the cafe, we would see an uptick in business. I added a few new items to the menu, changed the layout of the cafe, and hired a few new members of staff. I did all I could think of to drum up more interest amongst the general public, but I have not been seeing any results. We're approaching the summer. These coming months should be our busiest, and yet Miss Mayority sighs heavily. We're still hemorrhaging customers. Our takings are down by a good 20% compared to last year, and I'm not sure if we can keep going like this. This cafe still has a bit of life left in it, but as things stand, it seems very likely that at the end of the summer I will have to close the cafe down for good. I simply cannot afford to keep it running, given its current state. I am very sorry to those of you who have worked here for a long time, but I am at my wit's end. I'm not sure what else to do. What? Everybody looks stunned following this grave announcement, Ku accepted. But I doubt anybody's more perturbed than Mayuki. She stares at Miss Mayamori with the large hurt eyes of a betrayed child, who's only just learned that Santa doesn't exist. But Miyuki swallows. Her dark eyelashes are trembling, as is her lower lip. She isn't going to cry, is she? If you knew the earnings were bad for a while, why didn't you tell us sooner? We would have tried to help you. It's not right that you should shoulder this burden all by yourself for so very long. That's very kind of you, Miyuki. Miss Mayamori smiles gently at our residential suitor. But I am the boss, not you. As such, it is my job to stress about the bills. I wouldn't want to place the burden upon you. You have no responsibility to run the cafe or to oversee its profits. You are an intelligent girl, but you are no accountant. You're not paid enough to deal with the additional stress. But I love this cafe. It's more than just a job to me. It's almost like a home. You're like my real big sister, and Ku is my best friend. We've had a lot of fun times together in this place. I don't want to see it get closed down. That would be far too sad. Miyuki breaks off. She sniffles, her hands clenched in a fist at her sides. That's why you should have told me. I don't care about the stress or even about the money. I'd do anything to help you. Oh, Miyuki. Miss Mayamori's eyes softened. I'm sorry to say this, but you are proving my point. This is precisely why I did not want to inform you sooner, though I know I should have. I didn't want to make you panic. I was trying to be considerate in my own way, but I suppose it backfired. I can't keep it a secret any longer. I'm sorry, Miyuki. No, you don't need to apologize. I understand. It's true what you said. I'm not an accountant. I'm just a dumb kid who couldn't get into university. I never said that. Maybe you didn't, but I will. Save the cafe? How could I? I've never owned my own business. There's no way I could help you. It was presumptuous of me to say all that stuff. I'm sorry. It must have been the shock. It's just all came out. I do want to help. I really truly do, but I guess there's nothing more than self-satisfaction. I talk big, but I can never follow through on it. That's the sort of person I am. In the end, I'm powerless. Miyuki. Ku reaches out perhaps to place a hand on Miyuki's shoulder, but Miyuki slaps her away. I'm sorry, Ku. And I'm sorry, Ayana. Naoya. Miyuki sniffles. This is a lot to take in. I think I need some time alone. Miyuki, wait. Miss Mayuri calls after Miyuki, but to no avail. Still swallowing back tears, Miyuki turns on her heels and flees. Her dark hair streams behind her as she runs, and her red shoes clack against the ground. An awkward silence settles upon us remaining staff members in her absence. Midori and Atsuko look at one another uncomfortably, while the head cook, I think his name is Tatsuya, sighs and mumbles, "Poor kid," under his breath. Miss Mayamori, meanwhile, looks stricken. I knew this would happen. Miyuki's always been so sensitive. She feels things so intensely. Knowing her, she'll be blaming herself for this. Not that she did anything wrong. I hope she doesn't do anything foolish. Ayani? Miss Mayamori blinks. Ku is pinching her sleeve with her thumb and forefinger, an earnest look upon her face. What is it? Don't be sad. I've come to comfort you. I saw that this would happen, but it will be alright, I promise. It's alright, she says. Atsuko murmurs waspishly under her breath. Her best friend just ran off in tears, and she says it's alright. Does this girl not have a single sympathetic bone in her body? Atsuko, please. No, I won't stop. I'm saying what we're all thinking. That girl is seriously heartless. I have no idea why Miyuki hangs out with her at all. Heartless, am I? Ku frowns. That is illogical. If I was heartless, I would not be able to stand here and talk to you. I would be dead. I am not dead, however, though the spirits do commune with me, so I must have a working heart. Your assertions are full of flaws. It was just a figure of speech. Well, please be more careful next time. Language is powerful. And as for Miyuki, Ku's eyes narrows. Nobody cares about her more than I do. She's my very best friend, and I love her. I find her, and I will console her. I will not let her be miserable. You can trust me, Ayan. Ku gives Miss Mayuri a salute. I will protect both Miyuki's smile and this cafe. You will? But how? I am not quite sure about the finer details. I must wait for the spirits to give me more guidance. For the present, however, I will hurry to find Miyuki. Is that acceptable? Oh, yes. Please look for her. I'm very worried. I would do it myself if I didn't have a business to run. Miss Mayamori smiles bitterly. Though I might not for much longer, if matters do not improve. They will improve. You must have faith. That is important. Otherwise, the magic will not work. I will continue to believe, so you must too. And you, Atsuko, and Midori, and Naoya, we must all believe, and we cannot give up. Now, Ku takes my hand in her own. I didn't expect this. Ku's not really a touchy-feely type, and I jump. Let us find Miyuki. You want me to tag along too? Of course. You're Miyuki's friend as well, are you not? The three of us are very close. I will not let anything sever our bonds. That really would break my heart. Unfortunately, it doesn't take Ku and I that long to find Miyuki. She fled from the seaside cafe in tears, but she didn't go all that far. She's sitting only a little ways away from the cafe, sitting on a sitting on the golden beach. Her arms are wrapped around her legs, which are tucked against her chest, and she's staring out over the ocean. Miyuki's cheeks are damp. Her eyes rimmed with pink. She isn't crying anymore, but she's still trembling. I don't think I've ever seen her look more vulnerable. It's as though every ounce of energy has deteriorated her body. Miyuki? I approach her hesitantly, my footsteps muffled by the sand. Miyuki, are you alright? Miyuki sniffs but doesn't doesn't justify that with an answer. I suppose there's no need. It's obvious. Just look at her. She isn't. Miyuki, please. I reach out, meaning to rest a hand on her shoulder, but then think better of it. Miyuki isn't one for physical contact at the best of times, and right now it must be some of the worst. What good will my hand do? It can't erase the pain she must be feeling right now. Hey, Miyuki. I try a different tactic. I know it might seem hopeless, but don't give up. The Seaside Cafe isn't finished just yet. Huh? This prompts Miyuki to turn, still sitting in her arms looped around her slender legs. She glowers at me. What are you talking about, Naoya? You don't know that for sure. You don't know anything. You can try and place it me, but I know it's nothing more than a convenient delusion. Ayan told us herself, didn't she? She said the cafe wasn't making enough money. I know that, but it's not the end of the world. We still have some time to what? Miyuki's voice catches in her throat. She winces, fresh tears beating in the corners of her eyes. To sit around and do nothing, watching, while everything falls apart around us? I think you're being a bit melodramatic. No, I'm not. I know Ayan was trying to put a positive spin on things, but it's already over. It's hopeless. The Seaside Cafe can't stay open if it's not making enough money. That's the cold hard truth. Whatever we do will only be delaying the inevitable. I loved working at that cafe. It gave me the self-confidence I needed after I wasn't able to take my university entrance exam. It gave me something to do with my time, and something to strive towards. I grew to like Ayan a lot, and I loved spending time with Ku. I even loved spending time with you. I have several months' worth of precious memories tied up in that place. But it's over now. Miyuki gets to her feet at some point during her tirade. Her eyes are moist with tears, and her dark hair flutters around her shoulders. She's shaking. Miyuki's always been sensitive, despite her hard exterior. I knew she'd be upset about this. It was inevitable, after pouring so much of herself into her work. But I never knew the Seaside Cafe meant this much to her. In the face of her despair, I'm not quite sure what to say. Words seem insignificant. I don't know Miyuki well enough to place it her. But I'm not alone. Miyuki. Ku, who's been silent throughout this, finally pipes up. I know you're hurting, but please don't take this out on Naoya. It's not his fault. This is just the whims of fate. But no fate is fixed. It can be changed throughout human actions. It is far too soon to give up hope. But what hope do we have? We're not businessmen, and we don't have access to a lot of money. We're not little kids, but we might as well be. It wasn't that long ago that we were teenagers. I am aware of that, but we are not completely powerless. To believe that would be folly. Please, Miyuki. Ku takes Miyuki's hand, which are shaking in her own. Listen to us. Naoya and I were talking whilst looking for you, and we had decided something. What? Miyuki sniffs. Do you have a plan? It's not a plan per se. It's more like an idea. Or maybe even the germ of an idea. I smile brashly. Sorry, I'm not describing this very well. I guess that's because I'm a pessimist at heart myself. Pessimist. Whenever time gets rough, it's a natural instinct to throw up my hands and give in. I'm a coward, you see. I think that's why I become a delinquent in the first place. I was afraid of growing up, graduating from school, and becoming an adult. So I decided to sabotage my own life. It took me a while, but now I finally understand how stupid I was being. I don't want to ruin life like that again. And if there's anything we can do to improve the current situation, anything at all, I would like to try it. I believe it must be better than hanging around doing nothing. There's no guarantees what I have in mind will work. The spirits are not being very forthcoming. But I think if we have her on our side, we might be able to turn the tables. Her? Miyuki frowns, as well she might, at all this mystery. What are you talking about? I don't understand. You're going around in circles. What do you intend to do? It's something I can't do on my own. We all need to work together. You and me and Ku. And Ichigo too. I think if we speak to her, she might be able to help us. What? But how? She doesn't even work at the cafe. Maybe not. But she likes it a lot. To be precise, she likes the frilly uniforms. And I'm certain she'll want to help us. The four of us need to have a meeting ASAP. I think we can still turn this place around. We just need to believe in ourselves. Huh? The Seaside Cafe really going to be closed? Ichigo, Ku, and Miyuki and I are sitting in the living room in my apartment. It's not quite midday, but Ichigo only had one lecture this morning. She's free for the rest of the day, and after sending her a quick text to explain matters, she agreed to meet up with us so we could have a little talk. I've since explained the gist of the situation to Ichigo, which prompted her loud exclamations seconds prior. Ichigo isn't an employee of the Seaside Cafe, but she looks pretty upset regardless. I wonder if she feels sorry for us. She must know how much the Seaside Cafe means to Miyuki and Ku, and to me too, I guess. I was afraid when I started hunting for jobs, I'd never find anybody who'd be willing to hire an ex-delinquent like me. It was a great relief when Miss Mayuri decided to give me a chance. But now my chances are dwindling. It's unfortunate, but that's what Miss Mayuri told us this morning. She said if we couldn't attract more patrons, the cafe would be closed down at the end of August. The end of August? But it's June now. You only have a few months to get everything sorted. Isn't this all a bit sudden? Tell me about it. It was a huge surprise. Maybe for you, but not for me. I knew this would happen. You did? Ichigo's brow furrows. Who told you? The spirits. And my own observational power. Though one of my eyes looks into a immoral realm of nothingness. Ku rests her palm against her obscured eye, hidden beneath her full bangs. The other can only see what is visible on Earth. It seems as good as many things, too. I saw that our customers were declining. It was only a matter of time. I see. That's a bummer. Well, at least you had some inkling of what was going down. I didn't. Miyuki sniffs forwardly, her hands folded upon her lap. I think Ku is right, though. I should have been more attentive. If I'd been less wrapped up in myself, I would have noticed all the signs. I did think it was strange when Ayan remdwelled the interior of the cafe and changed the menu, but I didn't want to dwell on it. I was too much of a coward. I buried my head in the sand and now look. The cafe's going to close, and it's too late to do anything. We're screwed. Now, I wouldn't be quite that hasty, Mayui. I know that you're upset. It's quite understandable, really. But you mustn't throw in the towel so easily. The cafe hasn't closed just yet, has it? Well, no, but then there's still time. Now, let me think. Ichigo folds her arms across her chest and frowns. Her expression is usually serious, her lips pierced together in concentration. It would be a shame to see the Seaside Cafe meet such a swift and noble ending. I've only been there a few times, but the desserts are truly delicious, and the girls are adorable too. I loved your ruffled, furry maid dresses. They never fail to get my heart racing. They're too precious to lose. I knew that's I knew that was what you'd be the most cut up about. Aren't you? Maids are a perfect race, separated from us lowly humans, and then deserve to be protected. Particularly ultra cute maids like Ku and Mayuyi. The world, the world would be a far poorer place if the Seaside Cafe shut down, and I never got to see you dressed up ever again. I think I'd really cry. In fact, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. True enough, Ichigo's eyes are starting to look a bit weird, watery. Do you want a tissue? I have one in my pocket. Oh, oh no, that's fine. Ichigo sniffs. This is shocking news. The shocking news has dealt like quite the blow to my maidenly, maid-loving heart. But I would not wish for my suffering to eclipse your own. I am sure you are much more aggravated by this turn of events than I ever could be, Mayuyu. Do not worry about my welfare. We should instead be thinking of yours and of the seaside cafes. Now, look here, everyone. I think I have an idea. What? What? Really? Do you know a way to help the cafe? I'm not entirely sure if it'll help, but I think it might be our best option. This idea is kind of out there, but please listen up. You've heard of cafe idols before, right? Oh yeah, I think you mentioned them once before. Huh? What? Miyuki frowned. She looks nonplussed. You you might know what Ichigo is speaking of, but I am in the dark. Could you enlighten me? But of course, if there's one thing I love more than helping people, it's talking about idols. Idols are my passion, my reason for living. I could speak of them for hours and hours until the world falls apart around me. But that might be boring, so I'll try to keep it brief. Here's a super quick, abridged explanation. Ichigo launches into the same explanation of Cafe Idol she gives me a little while back. She tells Ku and Mayuki that while there are a lot of pro idols out there, there's also a lot of amateur idols who stream online and release their own music. These sort of idols are unaffiliated with record labels, and a lot of them exist to represent businesses like amusement parks, zoos, and cafes. Idols affiliated with cafes are called cafe idols, and while most of them are amateur idols working on a shoestring budget, some of them have gotten pretty popular. Some of these cafe idols attract so much attention, fans queue up all the way around the block to get into these cafes, so they can see these waitresses turned celebs in person. It can be quite lucrative if done properly. Most of these cafe idols fail to attract any meaningful attention. The market's tough and it's becoming quite saturated, but those who do can only rake in the cash. I think this could be just what the Seaside Cafe needs. Idols. Miyuki ponders this, one hand beneath her chin. I suppose it's worth a shot. But who would represent the Seaside Cafe as its idols? I don't know much about idols, but I presume they would have to be attractive, charismatic too. Maybe someone like Atsuko would suit the bill. She's very pretty. She's pretty on the outside, but ugly on the inside. Her aurora is black and twisted. Idols should be two-faced. People will notice, and they won't like it. They should be pure and fluffy, like ice cream. Is that so? I didn't know you knew so much about idols, Ku. You never listened to their music. I thought you preferred ambient goat noises and chanting monks. Ambient goats? It's a long story. I don't listen to idol music often, but I do on occasions. I like Hashizori Shiori. Oh my god, she's very cute and cheerful. So does Ichigo. Seriously? Ichigo smiles with the power of 1,000 suns, her whole face sparkling. I love Shiori too. I'm like her biggest fan. She's so cute. I'd love to pinch her cheeks. I bet they'd be delicious. Her armpits and her thighs must be really yummy too, though. Ku, just thinking about it is like super exciting. This is not good. We're getting off the subject here. This always happens whenever Ichigo gets started on the subject of idols. She loves them so much her brain starts to short circuit. She needs to be pulled back into reality. Stat. Hey Ichigo, I tugged one of her twin tails. You can talk about your weird armpit fetishes later. It's kind of gross. Huh? Ichigo starts, her eyes widening. I don't have an armpit fetish. That's a lie. You just said you wanted to lick Shiori's armpits. But maybe I did. But that's different. Shiori's like a goddess, you know. She's not human. Licking her armpits would be like a religious experience. It's not a fetish thing at all, and it's definitely not weird. But besides, Shiori's so exalted, I bet her sweat doesn't even taste salty. It's probably sweet like syrup. Ew. Ku wrinkles her nose. I don't like that sound of that. Neither do I. Miyuki, who's been shifting awkwardly for the past minute or so, finally pipes up. It looks like she's starting to lose her cool. Can we please navigate the conversation away from the armpits? For now, we're trying to think of a way to save the Seaside Cafe. Oh yes, that's right, my bad. I'm sorry, Miyuyu. When it comes to idols, I always lose my cool. But speaking of idols, Ichigo glances between Ku and Miyuki. She grins. I think we have two pretty good candidates for cafe idols sitting right here. What? You don't mean... That's exactly what I mean. Ichigo throws one arm around Miyuki's shoulder and the other around Ku's, pulling both women to her. She then declares, You should try and become cafe idols. You're currently cute. You're certainly cute enough. I bet you'll be able to turn a bunch of heads. Whoa, who, me? No way. I could never be an idol. I'm too awkward. I'd get stage fright performing in front of so many people. And anyways, I can't sing or dance. I'd make a fool out of myself. I'm sure you'll be fine. You need to have some more faith in yourself, Miyuyu. There's nothing cute girls can't do if they set their minds to it. But this is, Miyuki. Ku's voice, cool and emotionless, as always, cuts through Miyuki's stuttered protests. I know you were inexperienced, but I think you could do it. You'd be performing at the Seaside Cafe, and nobody loves the Seaside Cafe more than you. Your singing and dancing will ensure many hearts. Are you sure? I'm sure. Please believe, no matter what happens, I will be here with you, by your side. Together, we can do it. And I'll be there too. I am the residential idol professor, so I don't mind helping you out. I can give all sorts of tips and pointers. In fact, Ichigo smiles widens to comic proportions. I could get a job at the Seaside Cafe and then I could join you. Then the three of us could be cafe idols together, and Naoya would be our manager. That way, we'd get to spend even more time together than before. Well, I'll work hard and we'll save the Seaside Cafe with the power of our singing. Doesn't that sound like fun? It's just like the plot from an uplifting anime. I'm not sure. That this is a lot to take in, but, well, while I have a lot of objection, I wouldn't want to be a wet blanket. I can see you and Ku are very enthused, and I appreciate it a lot. I know you're trying to help us, Ichigo, so... Miyuki's voice trails off. Abashed, she looks down at her thighs. Her white hands grip the hem of her dress, while her shoulders tremble. Miyuki's anxiety is palpable, and yet, she swallows. Then she raises her head and says coolly, I'll do it. If it helps the Seaside Cafe and Ayan, then I'm prepared to do anything. I don't want to give up before I've even tried. Then I'd never be able to face myself. I'm sick and tired of being a coward. I'm going to take a stand for what I believe in. And if I have to become a cafe idol to do that, then I will. I'm going to do my very best. Yay. So let me get this straight. Miss Mayuri looks between the four of us, frowning. We've since returned to the Seaside Cafe, and both Ku and Miyuki have changed into their maid dresses for the upcoming shifts. They've not started working just yet, though. First, we need to talk to Miss Mayuri. We discussed the pros and cons of cafe idols in my living room, but all this will come to nothing if Miss Mayuri doesn't approve of our scheme. If we want to make any sub-rule changes, we need to get Miss Mayuri on board. That's why Ichigo tagged along. Despite not being an employee of the Seaside Cafe, as a huge idol fan, she should be the best at putting forth all the benefits of her scheme. At least that's what I'm hoping. You think that in order to save the Seaside Cafe, Ku and Miyuki should become, what did you say again? Cafe idols? That's right, Ichigo beams. I think they're definitely cute enough. It'll work out just great, I know it. As your residential idol professor, you can leave it all up to me. I'll give them a bunch of pointers and can even work alongside them if you'll let me. You mean you want to work here? Mm, that is very sweet of you, Miss Suzuki. I'm Suzuki Ichigo, but you can call me Ichigo. I know we've not spoken before, but I'm real good friends with both Ku and Miyuki. I know how much the cafe means to them, and I can't stand by and watch it close. If there's anything I can do to help, I want to try it. Won't you give this scheme of mine a chance? Harebrained through it might seem. I promise I've done a whole bunch of research on cafe idols. I know exactly what's popular and how to rake in attention. I feel like all my years of studying idols has led to this moment. Don't let this change pass you by. Miss Mayuri ponders. It is quite a bold proposal. I've heard of cafe idols before, but I've never considered using it to promote my own business. It all seems a bit newfangled for my liking, but maybe I'm getting old. Nonsense, you're not a day over 33. Is Miss Moriarty really 33? I thought she was a bit younger. Oh, Ku. Miss Moriarty pouts. You're a nice girl, but you're severely lacking in tats. It's no wonder Azuko gets mad at you. What? Why? Ku tilts her head, askance. What did I do wrong? You just blurted out my real age, right in front of Naoya. Don't you know how rude that is? Now, I'll never be able to insure his heart. I've lost my chance. Sorry to be blunt, but I wouldn't let you ensnare me anyway. You're my boss. It'd be kind of weird, even if you were in your 20s. Boo-hoo. Miss Mayori sniffles. First, I have to tell my staff the bad news about the Seaside Cafe performance. Then Ku tells everybody my age, and now I'm being shot down by a total cutie. I've had such a rough day. Don't feel any sympathy? Don't you feel any sympathy? My heart is cold and wet, like seaweed. Why is your heart wet? It is inside my chest, surrounded by blood. I fucking love Ku. I guess that does make sense. Anyway, Ichigo clears her throat. To get back to the topic at hand, what do you say, Miss Mori? Won't you let us youngsters revitalize your cafe? I know I might look kind of flaky, but I promise you, it'll be in good hands. I can never find my shoes in the morning, and I always lose my wallet and cell phone, but I'm actually pretty capable. You're not exactly filling me with confidence, and I don't really appreciate being singled out from you youngsters. Miss Moriarty pouts. I'm only 33, and I'm really not that old. I'm still pretty young comparatively. If you're being compared to my grandma, perhaps. Oofs. Miss Moriarty recoils, one hand claps to her chest. She looks like she's just been shot. That's so mean, Ku. I'm not a grandma. I don't have that many wrinkles or that many gray hairs. My hair might really end up going gray soon, though, thanks to all this stress. I have an awful lot on my plate, but Miss Moriarty considers it and smiles. I suppose it's worth a shot. I don't want to give up on the Seaside Cafe either. I put my all into this place, and it would be a shame to simply let it die. Does that mean you'll give my plan a chance? Am I really going to have to become an idol? If it will save this cafe, then sure. In fact, it might not be such a bad idea. Your cuteness is being severely under-euthanized, Miyuki, and you're quite cute as well, Ku, when you keep your mouth shut. You girls might just be able to turn these things around after all. I won't hold out too much hope, but this is better than giving up, right? Yes, you're right. Thank you, Miss Mori. You won't regret this. Now, I can finally make my dreams come true. I can produce a couple of cute idols of my very own. And maybe even become one myself. Ka! Ichigo throws herself upon Ku and Miyuki and embraces them both. We've got a chance to turn things around, so let's not blow it now. I'm gonna work the two of you like super hard, okay? It'll be a struggle, and sometimes I'm sure you'll want to give in. But we have to keep going no matter what. That's what being idol is all about. Now let's get out there and put smiles on everyone's faces. And let's save the Seaside Cafe. Yes, let's do it. I'll give it a shot. I can't promise anything, and I'm still a bit unsure about being an idol, but I think if you're with us, Ichigo, it might not be so bad. I'll do my best. Me too. Me three. That's all you can really ask for. Whether we fail or succeed, I'm sure we're going to have a whole bunch of fun. And now I'm really pumped. Ichigo squeezes Ku and Miyuki to her even more tightly. Her face wreathed in a luminous smile which lights up the whole cafe. I've really thought this. I really thought this about Ichigo. It would seem a bit strange given our close relationship, but she truly does look beautiful. Her smile is bold, determined one, and I know to look at her that I can rely on her. I have faith in her. When has she ever let me down? I can't tell the future, but I'm sure we're going to be just fine. I have faith in us. No matter what challenges come our way, we can overcome them. We just need to keep working hard. Later that day, let's hope that takes care of that. Ichigo throws herself down on a couch in the living room with a dull thump, then turns to face me with a sweet smile. It sure is a good thing I was there, huh? If it weren't for my quick thinking, we might have never have been able to cheer up Miss Miyamori. She looked so sad when she was talking about the cafe's future. Not that I blame her, she did sink a lot of time and money into it. It'd be a shame if it shut down, especially since the waitress uniforms are so cute. You didn't mention that, yes. You're obsessed with those uniforms. I really hope that's not the only reason why you decided to help us. What? No, not at all. Ichigo, I have fixed her with a serious, narrow-eyed look, which makes her giggle. Okay. Maybe that is particularly why I decided to help. But it isn't the only reason. I'm not like that self-serving. I didn't want to see Miss Miyamori looking so sad. Or Miyuki. Or Ku. Or you, for that matter. Me? Ichigo nods, her golden twin-tail shifting as she does so. I know you like to think you're all cool and stoic. Men don't like fessing up to their feelings, or so I've heard, but I'd like to think I know you pretty well, Naoya. I can tell how fond you are of that cafe, and all your colleagues, too. You don't want to give up on it, right? You're exactly right. I do like the Seaside Cafe, and I like Ku and Miyuki, too. I want us to remain friends, and I don't want the Seaside Cafe to close. It's important to me, so I thought I ought to fight for it. There's no guarantee things will work out, but I'm not going to roll over and give up. That wouldn't be very manly. I figured you'd say that. Ichigo beams. You're not a quitter, Naoya. That's why I like you so much. You're like so cool. I don't know about that. I just spouted a bunch of self-important, aggravating words. Anybody could do that. You're the one who came up with the proper plan to save the Seaside Cafe. If anyone's cool, you are. Do you think so? I'm certain of it. It's because of our bondness optimism that we've been able to hope for a better future. You do a lot for me. You've always stuck by me, even when I was at my worst. You really are a great friend. I probably don't tell you this enough. I'm not good at sappy stuff, but, well, I rely on you a bunch, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. I let my hand rest atop Ichigo's blonde head and give her a silky locks a ruffle. Thanks for everything. No problem. Ichigo smile retains bright, almost celestial properties as I ruffle her hair. You don't need to thank me, though. Seeing you're happy is more than enough to satisfy me. Besides, Ichigo pokes my cheek with her index finger. It's way too early to compliment me. We haven't even started on my Idol Cafe plan. There's a whole bunch we've got to do if we're going to make the Seaside Cafe into a success. We've got to write our own music, plan out our own dances, and film music videos. Then we got to put a lot of performances, drum up interest, and manage shiny new social media pages. There's a lot we've got to work on. That does sound like a lot, yes. I was pretty gung-ho about Ichigo's Idol Cafe idea, but hearing her lay it out in the details like this is a bit overwhelming. There's more to do than I anticipated. Are you sure we can't cut a few corners here and there? It would be a lot faster if we covered existing songs. Surely. We could do that, I suppose. But you don't like that idea? Not one bit. Ichigo pouts. Most rookie idol groups start out covering other songs, and they never expand from that. They don't get enough public attention, so they fizzle out. If we're gonna make a proper splash, we need to write our own music at the bare minimum. That's the only way to make a real impact. Managing an idol group is a huge undertaking. There's no point trying if we aren't going to do it properly. I won't rest until I've accomplished all my dreams. Perhaps one day we might even be able to rival Shiori. That'd be like super cool. Ichigo sure sounds pumped up, despite the huge workload lingering over her. When it comes to idols, her passion is second to none. She's indomitable. Alright, I get it. You're the idol expert, so I'll let you manage the venture however best you see fit. I won't question your judgment. Though if things get too much for you, you can always tell me. I don't want to stress you out. As much as I've grown to like the Seaside Cafe, keeping it up and running isn't worth sacrificing your health. If there's anything at all I can do, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm going to work hard too. Oh, Naoya. Ichigo snuggles against me. You really are nice to me. Why wouldn't I be nice to you? You're my best friend. I guess that is true. We're best friends, huh? That does make me happy, but though Ichigo's smiling, I can sense something a little off about her expression. Her green eyes look strangely, uncharacteristically mournful. Is something wrong? Is it that obvious? I can tell these things, you know. We have been friends for years. That's right, we are friends. I'm very happy we've been able to remain so close. But, Naoya? Ichigo swallows. This might sound a bit selfish, but I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with that. Huh? I frown. I frown, perturbed as I try to wrap my head around this unexpected statement. You're not satisfied with me? No. That's not it. It's not a problem with you. You've always been nice to me, apart from the times when you weren't. That was like a while ago, though. I forgive you for it. Ichigo laughs quietly. This issue's on my side. I've felt this way for a while, but my feelings are so crazy strong now I can't hold them back. I don't want to come across as too pushy. So if I am, please feel free to stop me. But Naoya, please listen. I don't just like you. I, well, I think I love you. I love you a lot, like a woman loves a man. Not like a childhood friend loves a childhood friend. And if we're going to keep living together and working together, I need you to know that. You don't need to return my feelings, but I thought you should know. This has been like driving me crazy. I can't keep repressing how I really feel. Silence descends following this incredible confession. Ichigo is staring at me. Her arms wander through mine. Her slender shoulders are trembling, and her green eyes are filled with burgeoning tears. I don't think I've ever seen her look this serious before. It looks like her heart has shattered. Does she really like me that much? I can say I can scarcely believe it. Ichigo's so pretty and cheerful, she could make any guy fall for her. She could choose someone smarter, or more athletic, or more handsome than me. But she's never done that. I don't think she's ever bothered entertaining the notion. She's never had a boyfriend before. I always thought she was saving herself for Mr. Right. But now I wonder, was Ichigo's Mr. Right me all along? It's a lot to take in, but Naoya? Ichigo stares at me, her golden eyelashes spiking with tears. Please say something. This nonsense is killing me. You don't have to return my feelings. I wouldn't expect you to. I know I annoy you a bunch. I'm messy and disorganized, and I always run my mouth. I talk too much, and I make people stare, and my manners aren't the best. I'm not a demure, elegant beauty. I'm not like a huge mess. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't love me. I'm kinda expecting it, actually. But I would like you to reply so I know where I stand. That should help us clear things up. It'll be good for my heart. Just don't be too mean, okay? Remember, I have loved you for years now. Oh, Ichigo. I place one hand beneath Ichigo's chin, then tip her head upward so our eyes meet. Her green auras, her green irises. Hold on. Her green irises stare into my own, damp and shining with anticipation. Now, for the first time, I'm hit with the resounding realization that Ichigo is incredibly beautiful. I used to see her as nothing more than a childhood friend. She was off limits to me, in the same way a sibling would be. The mere thought of dating her was taboo. But maybe I told myself that so I could suppress my own burgoying feelings. Her confession has stirred something within me. My heart won't stop pounding. I'm a bit slow on the uptake, but I think I finally understand. I'm not very good at expressing my feelings in words, so I'm sorry, but you'll have to make do with this. I hope it's enough to get my feelings across. I dip my head. Yeah, let's go, baby. And then I press my lips to Ichigo's in a kiss. It's a soft, gentle kiss, but it's a kiss nonetheless. Packed full of emotion. Ah. I nip on Ichigo's full lower lip. She opens her mouth accordingly. Our tongues slide together intimately, while our arms reach around Ichigo's back. I embrace her, squeezing her, and vow that I'll never let her go. Together, we're going to work to save the Seaside Cafe. And together, we're going to make one another happy. I'm sure of it. What a beautiful game. What a beautiful fucking game. Oh, I have part two, and we'll be streaming part two. Alright, everybody. That's the conclusion to part one of Would You Like to Run an Idol Cafe? And that's also where I'm going to call it. Now, we might go live later on tonight. But I appreciate everybody for staying, watching, checking out this, enjoying this incredible journey with me of this beautiful game. We will be streaming part two. I don't know when. Soon, though. I'd like to. This is a great game. But again, I want to say thank you for those that were on this journey with me of this beautiful game. But it's come that time where I must bid you adieu. Goodbye and good night.